Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to live coverage of the men's NCAA Adrian College soccer team as they play host to the Calvin College Knights here at Docking Stadium. Frank Krupia alongside Laura Shrub, bringing you live coverage of this afternoon's contest. Bulldogs coming into this afternoon's game with a 4-3-1 record. They're 1-1-1 in the MIAA. And they'll be looking to pick up their second MIAA win of the season. They won earlier this week at Trine 2-0. Meanwhile, on the other side of the pitch, it's the Calvin College Knights, who are coming in with an overall record of 7-2. They're 3-0 in the MIAA, so it will be a tough contest here for our Bulldogs this afternoon. That was our national anthem, about 4.5 minutes away from kickoff here at Docking Stadium. Again, Frank Krupia alongside Laura Shrub for ACTV. And let's take a look at the starting rosters for both teams this afternoon. Team captain Lino Taramini for the Bulldogs gets to start in goal. He started all 8 games for the Bulldogs this season, playing 743 minutes. He's allowed 13 goals in 8 games, making 47 saves. He's their rock on defense, so it's Lino Taramini getting the start once again, the junior from Monroe, Michigan. The Bulldogs will also look to Braden Lee, Grant Sovell, Sean Kane, Ryan Kissel, Nick Minshall up on forward, who leads the team with 4 goals. Cheyenne Shushitare will be his striker alongside Minshall to start this game, along with Miles Masters-Claiborne. And then Marcello Mancini, Connor Gratton, and Riley Jackson round out the midfielders for the Bulldogs. On the other side of the pitch for Calvin College, it's Andrew Clockerty who gets the start in net for the Bulldogs. It's only Clockerty's second start of the season. Excuse me, it's his first start of the season. Starting goaltender Nico Giantstopoulos is out with a red card, and Nico actually played for this Adrian College Bulldogs club last season before transferring to Calvin. So a Giantstopoulos red card last game leads to Clockerty getting the start for Calvin College. On defense, Calvin has Nick Greenwald. There's a shot on net. A little bit high from Stephen Hawker of Calvin. Calvin College in black, Adrian College in yellow. Back to Calvin's starting lineup, though. Nick Groenwald on defense. Sean Broekhuizen, midfielder, along with Mitch Stark and Taylor Pruce. Travis Vetker, one of the strikers for Calvin. Stephen Hawker, midfield. Iski Van Dorn, midfield. And Reed Bowden and John Filippini, defenseman for Calvin. So if you're a little bit late joining us, it's your Adrian College Bulldogs playing host to the Calvin College Knights. Frank Krupia alongside Laura Shrub. Are you here, Laura?
I am.
You are here. There you are. I thought you were hiding.
I'm trying to.
That's all right.
Adrian seemed to be controlling the ball pretty nice going up to the net. They got to be careful, though, because Calvin's catching them through the defenders and all the players.
And we've got a goal kick for Calvin. That's a wonderful day for a soccer game here at the Docking Stadium.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
The sun is out. There's a light breeze. There's a few clouds in the sky. And you got ACTV, and now there's a turnover here. And it was almost Ryan Kissel who was in alone. That was a poor pass from Clockerty. Bulldogs now with possession for a throw-in. But it's Calvin now picking up possession. And away with it is Travis Vetker. Vetker slide tackled nicely. Shot on net results in a rebound, cleared aside.
Sent away by Adrian for a Calvin throw-in.
Excellent block there from the defender. I believe it was Grant Scoville. Nice slide tackle to stop Travis Vetker, who was flying in with some speed. Far throw-in, and there's a header, and Calvin has struck first. Or not. Laura, what happened there?
I'm not sure. I just noticed they were all bunched. I think it might have been it hit the side of the net, and we couldn't see.
Maybe that was not a goal. It looks like it wasn't.
Well, it obviously wasn't, but I think from this angle, it looked like it went in, but it hit the side of the net.
All right, but now we've got Calvin in a break, and here's a quick shot, and that is going to be offside, though, anyways. So some chances here for Calvin early. We thought they scored, but yeah, it hit the side of the net. That'll be a free kick for Adrian after the Calvin offside.
First touch, Adrian.
Nice lead pass from Calvin. There you go. Cross field, and it's number 15 hunting it down, and Taramini, nice job to jump over Taylor Pruis.
And that'll be a corner. Corner for Calvin.
So Pruis to take the corner for Calvin. Nice cheeky little play, and what a save by Taramini. Excellent save. Rocket shot from number 11, Mitch Stark. Taramini able to dive and get a piece of it. Huge save by the goaltender early in this game. Got another chance here for Calvin, and again, it's another big save made from Taramini. Lino Taramina with some big saves early in this game for this Bulldog squad. And Laura, Adrian's got to tighten up defensively here. Way too many big opportunities. And again, it's Taramini who's got to be sharp, coming out and jumping on a loose ball. What's Adrian got to do to tighten up out here only 7 minutes in?
I don't know. Calvin's just running around him and playing the ball right where it needs to be, so Adrian can't get to it. They're playing right through the defenders and all the players, so they don't necessarily need to stand closer. It's just Calvin's finding the open spots or passing where it needs to be.
A long throw-in and chasing it down is Vetker. Vetker's going to cross it for 21 Hooker. And Hooker rings it off the uprights. Those would be the football uprights, though. So over the net.
just like those, Adrian needs to get the first touch so then they can have the control instead of Calvin getting an opportunity to carry it in like that.
Now we've got 8 minutes gone here in the first half between the Bulldogs and the Knights. And it's been all Calvin so far. Adrian really hasn't had the ball in the opposing end of the field at all so far. Lots of good chances for Calvin. Taramini has made a few real big saves. Here's Baden Lee with it now for the Bulldogs. He's going to send it back to his defense. Oh, and the ball is turned over, and in comes Pruis. Pruis now stepping on defense. Pruis with a shot, and Pruis finds the back of the net. Taylor Pruis stepping around the Bulldog defenders, and a hard low kick finds the left post and in. 1-0 Calvin.
Loss of control by the defender was the factor in that one, flat out.
So Calvin is struck early. Less than 10 minutes here into the first half. Taylor Pruis, the junior from Grand Rapids, Michigan, picking up his third goal of the season. Good enough to tie him for the third overall goal scorer on Calvin. And the Bulldogs have dug themselves an early hole here. Grant Scoville with a far pass up for Kissel. Minshaw trying to win a battle in midfield, but it's turned over. And smacked out of bounds by Marcello Mancini. Throw in Calvin. High ball is headed up by Adrian. Not much on Minshaw's header there, but Adrian maintains possession. Calvin playing hard defense here. Doing a nice job tackling the Bulldogs. Van Doom goes cross field for Vetker. But it's the Bulldogs who clear it out. Nick Waiters with it now. Playing pitch and catch. Headed away by Adrian. Taylor Pruis now, the goal scorer for Calvin. Pruis is walking in untouched. Pruis, oh, he was trying to hit the through ball. A shot on it by Pruis is sent wide. Taylor Pruis been dangerous for Calvin. He's been allowed to walk through the middle of the field too many times so far this afternoon. Now it's Pruis again with it, and he's going to try the through ball, and a nice piece of defending there from the Bulldogs. It was number 20, John Filippini, who broke up the pass. Ryan Kissel has the ball stripped off of him, and now here comes Calvin. Pruis with a cross-field pass. Bulldogs defense has been real busy here in the opening 11 minutes of this game.
I've noticed already in the first 11 minutes, Adrian's already playing more defensive. I think they need to get, they need to get into like the offensive mode once they get control instead of still being defensive when they play.
Yeah, Adrian's already, good point, Laura. They're sitting back a little bit already. Got to start to get in attack mode a little bit here. Try to turn the tide of momentum. That ball's going out of bounds for a Calvin throw in. It'll be Riley Jackson. Ball's headed high. Minshaw can't win the battle up top. And now coming down the wing with it is Broekhuizen. Broekhuizen with a high pass, trying to hit Hucker. Headed away by the Adrian D.
Adrian, too, their passes, I've noticed, they aren't very specific. They should get the ball down and control it rather than just keeping it in the air longer than it needs to be.
So if you're a little bit late joining us, this is Frank Krupe alongside Laura Schraub. Is it Schraub or Shrub? Or Schraub?
It's Shrub. It's Shrub.
Can you say it again?
Shrub.
Shrub. Frank Krupe and Lara Shrub for ACTV, bringing you live coverage here of our Adrian College men's soccer team hosting Calvin College. They're down 1-0 off a Taylor Pruis goal at the 38-minute mark. Sean Kane smacks it down the field for the Bulldogs. Perhaps just trying to give his defenders a breath. The field has been severely tilted towards Adrian goaltender Lino Teromina for most of this game. Long cross-field pass for Pruis. Sets it back up for Filippini. Back to Pruis. Vetker and Pruis trying to play pitch and catch. Oh, nice piece of footwork by Vetker. And Vetker's going to go cross field. He was perhaps trying to find Mitch Stark for a header on the right corner, but it's gone out of bounds for a Bulldog free kick. Ryan Kissel now up for Nick Minshaw. Minshaw stepping around a few defenders. Minshaw's going to cross it in. Chance for Adrian. Nick Minshaw's cross, very dangerous. Trying to find Miles Masters Claiborne on the far post. Nice piece of defending by Calvin to tip that cross away. First real chance of the afternoon for the Bulldogs. Throwing his head up. It's up in the air, and a header is sent in by Minshaw, but blocked by the Calvin defense. Calvin screaming for a handball from number 18, Mancini. Not going to get it. Travis Vetker now able to step around Adrian defense. Nice pass to the top of the box for number 21, Hooker. But he's got that ball stripped off of him. Taylor Pruis now for Calvin. Slide tackled nicely by Nick Groenwald. Great slide tackle by Groenwald, the junior from Oak Brooks, Illinois. Or else that could have been a dangerous cross. .29 minutes left to go here in the first half. 1-0 Calvin. Vetker is going to try his luck from distance, and he's going to sail that over the net. Vetker leads this Calvin College Knights squad with 7 goals and 5 assists in 9 games played, so he's a very dangerous forward on this Calvin team. 22 shots on goal through 9 games for Vetker. So the Bulldogs are paying special attention to him. Now here's Pruis with it. Cross looking for Vetker, headed away by the Adrian defense, and it's set back in, and Vetker's going to lob one high and over the net. Vetker leads this Calvin College Knights squad with 7 goals and 5 assists in 9 games played, so he's very dangerous. That was a poor kick from goaltender Taromina on this Calvin team. 22 shots on goal. Calvin College throw-in through 9 games for Vetker. So the Bulldogs are paying special attention to him. Calvin continuing to control the pace of this game. Here's Pruis with it. Cross looking for Vetker, headed away by the Adrian defense, and it's set back in, and Vetker's going to lob one high and over the net. Grant Sobel for the Bulldogs is just going to throw it down the field for Clockerty. Long lead pass up for Pruis. He's going to get there. Pruis gets around Scoville.
7 goals and 5 assists.
Pruis still with it.
In 9 games played, so he's a very
nice battle here between Scoville and Pruis.
Ends in a goal kick for Adrian.
22 shots on goal.
Calvin College throw-in. Way to spot that, Laura, because we got this giant beam in our way.
Paying special
You
attention
have to
to
lean
him.
like halfway out of the box to be able to see the field.
Yeah.
You can already see how hard the guys are working. The sun is beating down on them. It's almost a little too hot for him.
We don't got to worry about that because we are up in the nice shaded press box. There's a hint of sun coming in. You might tan your hands a little bit, but other than that, we'll be okay. Pruis now controlling it for Filippini. And,
continuing
looks like
to
we had a handball for Calvin.
Pruis with it. Cross looking for Vetker, headed away by the Adrian defense, and it's set back in, and Vetker's going to lob one high and over the net.
Grant Sobel for the Bulldogs is just going to throw it down the field for Clockerty. And the Bulldogs now have made their first substitution of the night. It's
pass up for
the
Pruis.
sophomore defender Grant Scoville.
He's going to get there. Pruis
who heads to the sideline.
gets around Scoville
for sophomore defender Marcus
Pruis still with
Phillips, who's actually an Ajax, Ontario native.
Nice battle here between Scoville and
Close
Pruis.
to my hometown of Markham, Ontario.
Ends in a goal kick for Adrian.
Marcus Phillips,
22 shots on
Calvin
goal.
one of
Throw-in.
way to spot that. 2 Canadians on this
Laura,
team.
because
They've
we
also
got
got Mark
this
Proctor
giant
from
beam in
Barrie,
our way.
Ontario. So
Paying special attention to him.
north of the border is represented a little bit here by the Bulldogs. So Phillips is in for Scoville. Here comes Calvin now. And it's Vetker who's going to try his luck again from outside the box.
Adrian's got to be careful. They're all right around him, but he's still getting the shot off. Got to defend a little tighter on him.
Vetker, who's a senior from Hudsonville, Michigan, has been all over the offensive side of the ball. A number of good chances for him. Ryan Kissel has the ball kicked off of his front foot.
Laurel, what are we running at halftime? Which interview, the coach?
And a good clear by Adrian. Throw in for Calvin.
So throw in for Calvin. It's Watterson, who's going to go to his partner, Groenwald. Calvin working the sidelines. Send it back to the other side of the field. For Vetker. Vetker stepping in, and Vetker is going to have a cheeky little chip, and the ball is headed nicely by Stephen Hooker. But just again missing the right post. And again, it's Vetker who's able to walk into the middle of the field untouched. Cheeky little chip pass.
So we're running Tim interview and what else? And did we? That's it. Okay, I didn't know if we did that before the game or not.
What I'm noticing too is Adrian, they need to stop all the sloppy passes. They're having the opportunities, and when they have control of it, they need to take advantage of those times.
What another amazing save that was by Taramina. As Taylor Pruis, the goal scorer, was able to walk in untouched. Taramina coming out very smartly for a challenge, and he's able to make another big save. And he's really been holding this Bulldogs team into this game. .21 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the first half between the Bulldogs and the Knights. And it's Vetker now challenged by Shushitare. Calvin keeps possession. Calvin plays on after the foul. Hawker trying to chip it in, but it's cleared out by the Bulldogs. Vetker playing give and go with Brookenhusen. And now it's Pruis. He's going to send a chip in for Vetker. Oh, and Vetker not able to get a foot on it. Travis Vetker shaking his head on the field right now. Unable to get a touch on that header. It could have easily been 2-0. Now the Bulldogs are going to make their second substitution of the afternoon. The freshman Ryan Kissel comes out for the senior Ambrose DiGiovanni. So 2 subs for the Bulldogs in the first half here, none for Calvin. Good job by Hooker to get around some Adrian defense, but Bulldogs D equal to the task, muscling him off the ball for a goal kick.
Calvin Offender, 21 I think it was looking for the call there, but Sideline ref was not going to call it.
Not buying it. Oh, and that might be a foul there. We might see a card here too. We do not. Hard to tell who that was. I believe it was Marcus Phillips. A long shot from distance is blocked by Adrian defenders.
They did a good job clearing it. That could have been another scary situation for him.
Surprised we didn't see a card there, Laura, on Marcus Phillips, who seemed to have tackled Mitch Stark a little hard on the sideline.
Yeah, at that point, it's all up to the refs. Like, it depends, because some refs could have called it as a card, but I mean, it was a clean hit, so it was a little dirty though.
Ambrose DiGiovanni now. Gonna have a long throw, and ball is up. And it was Minshaw going for the header, but cleared away by Calvin. Ball's chipped up by Kane. And Clockerty grabs a loose ball in the air. Watterson now with it. Long lead pass. Trying to find Pruis. Cleared away by Taramini. Calvin maintains possession. Walking in is Hooker. Hooker stepping through a few defenders, but it's cleared away nicely by Braden Lee. And now Calvin is going to make their first substitution of the afternoon. Out comes Mitch Stark. And in comes midfielder Sam Hanover, junior from St. John's, Michigan, into the game. Vetker down low for Pruis. Pruis is going to cross, and nicely cleaned up by Taramina. 15.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Still 1-0 Calvin. And Laura, the Bulldogs really haven't had any opportunities at the other end of at all to score. There was one Nick Minshaw cross that went through the box untouched, but other than that, the Bulldogs have not been able to generate anything offensively.
No, not at all. And I could hear the captain yelling at the team to push it up and get the ball on the other side, but it just, I don't know, they're not being able to get it. Calvin is getting the touch that they need, and Adrian's losing the ball.
Good challenge there from Sean Kane to clear away a Calvin pass. Battle on the sideline is won by Calvin, and stepping in with it, chip up for Vetker. Vetker tackled nicely by the Bulldogs defense. Nick Minshaw is just going to get it down. Well, I had a chance to catch up with the head coach of the Adrian College Bulldogs, Charlie Edwards, who's in his first season at the helm here for the Bulldogs. Had a chance to speak with him before the game this afternoon, and make sure you stick around at halftime to catch that interview I did with him.
These are the times that the Bulldogs need to get the first touch, especially because they have possession. So, I mean, they're sending it up the field, and Just like that, Calvin gets the ball, and they're going right back to their end. Oh, luckily, Adrian gets the throw in here.
It's Minshaw with it for the Bulldogs now. Playing give and go with DiGiovanni. Bulldogs are going to slow it back down for the defense. Phillips now with a through ball, and it squeaks through a few defenders. Almost found Minshaw at the top of the box. And a poor pass there as the ball is thrown away from the Adrian defense. A couple of giveaways here have resulted in Calvin coming down. It's Pruis taken down by Phillips, no call. Little grin on Phillips' face as he runs away. Might have gotten away with one there. Braden Lee now.
Very nice give and go there with the Bulldogs. And a good slide tackle by Calvin for Adrian throwing.
So Minshaw throws it in for Phillips. Oh, and Phillips was tackled hard by Calvin's Taylor Pruis, but we're going to see a number of substitutions now for Calvin as they send in Garrett Schopp, Matt Hins, and Lance Van Tyne. So Calvin getting some fresh legs out here with 11 minutes and 38 seconds left to go in the first half. Something I did not know about college soccer is that you can make as many substitutions as you'd like.
I didn't know that either, actually.
Well, now we know. And now our listeners know.
But that's a huge advantage, though, because especially on days like this when the sun is beating down, I mean, if just being out in the sun makes you tired, then when you're running around to boot, you just need to get fresh legs out there and make sure to stay hydrated.
And most professional soccer leagues allow 3 substitutions. In college, you're allowed to make as many as you'd like, in Division III anyways. Minshaw gets tackled hard in the corner. Calvin able to retain possession here now. Giveaway in the center of the field, and now here comes Vetker. Vetker slipping around the Adrian defense, and he's in a race with Taramini. Taramini slips, running back into the net, and we've got a foul here on Vetker for hitting Taramini. We've really seen in this first half why Calvin is 3-0 in the MIAA. They've been all over Adrian for most of this game, generating a ton of scoring chances. And this game could be a lot worse than 1-0 if it wasn't for captain of this team, who is, of course, the goaltender Taramina, who's made a number of timely saves. Now we've got an injured Bulldog down on the field. And thanks to our statistician, Laurel Van Hoff, we're now understanding that if the trainers come out to attend to an injured player, that means that the player has to leave the field.
It's not good that we have an injured Bulldog, but it does give our team a break to come off, get some water, just take a breath.
I'll tell you, I could use some water right now.
me too.
Hard to tell who's down and injured for the Bulldogs. Oh, we're now getting confirmation now that it's Ambrose DiGiovanni, who's just subbed into the game about 10 minutes ago, and he's not able to put any pressure at all on his left foot, his left leg. He looks to be in some pain.
It almost looks like it's his knee that's bothering him.
That does not look good for DiGiovanni. He's not able to put any weight whatsoever on that knee. Ambrose DiGiovanni being helped off the field. Subbing in for DiGiovanni is Kyle Boggs.
See, that's what I like to see. When someone does get hurt, the other team is very respectful and will kick the ball out of bounds if the ref isn't calling it. And then, like for us, because we had the throw in, we threw it back to them. I just think it's really good sportsmanship, and I like that a lot about the soccer.
Now, you wouldn't see that in hockey, I wouldn't think.
Not at all.
We've got 8.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Bulldogs now maybe with a break. Pass in for Minshaw, and it's Minshaw able to step around a Calvin defender. He's going to chip it in. And a nice save made by Clockerty. Nick Minshaw with what one would think was maybe a shot or a cross. It looked like a bit of a both, but either way, it was a good scoring chance for the Bulldogs there. Really their second chance around the net this afternoon. Nice job by Clockerty. Now here comes Jortsma. Jortsma is going to have his pass blocked away. Braden Lee for Phillips. Bulldogs slowing things down here. Given away by Adrian now. Bowden for Jortsma. Back to Bowden. To the center of the field for Shop. Another nice piece of defending by the Bulldogs. And now we could have a break for Miles Masters-Claiborne. Claiborne trying to spring free. There's a loose ball. Claiborne not able to beat out goaltender Clockerty in the race. But a solid individual effort by Masters-Claiborne. Just a tad behind Clockerty, who was able to run out and grab that ball. And now we've got a cross sent in, and it's headed away by the Bulldogs. So it's Adrian now after the DiGiovanni injury. Like you said, they had a minute to get some water, recharge, and they've had a couple of good scoring chances here in the latter moments of this first half.
It's funny how those few minutes of just rest and just stopping for a second can change the pace of the game.
And now we've got another substitution. It's Mayak Beard coming in for Travis Vetker. So Vetker will get a little added rest. And the two main strikers for the Bulldogs, the three main strikers, Claiborne, Lee, and Minshaw, still in this game for Adrian, though. And Lee was hit hard by number 23, Chisu Park. Nice little chip for Calvin. This ball is thrown to the center of the box on that shot from number 21, Stephen Hawker, just missing the left post. And another substitution now. Matt Thompson coming in for Braden Lee for the Bulldogs. Four and a half minutes left to go here in the first half. It's Nick Minshall along the sideline. He's able to step in, and Minshall is going to go cross field. Ball is sent back for him. It's Claiborne. Ball is separated from him. A last touch, and it'll be a Calvin goal kick. A long lead pass way too far ahead, and that one almost bounced over the head of Taramina. I was always, you know, as I'm a goaltender myself, and I always hated the long shots. Those ones scared you the most. It wasn't the ones from in tight, it was the ones from a mile away.
I was always on offense, so.
Yeah. Taramino, had his heart rate elevated a few notches, I'm sure, when that one nearly bounced over his head. Able to get a fingertip on it. Now we've got yet another substitution. It's Crystal Brown coming in for Masters Claiborne. Two and a half minutes left to go in the first half, and we'd like to remind you to stick around for halftime, as we're going to send it down to Tim Harkleroad. We'll be speaking with one of our Adrian soccer players before they head into the locker room, and we've also got an interview with head coach Charlie Edwards. I had a chance to speak with Charlie before the game, talked to him a little bit about this Bulldogs club. Charlie's in his first season coaching Adrian. So make sure you stick around for half. We'll hear from Charlie and an Adrian soccer player yet to be decided. Throwing here for Calvin. It's Hanover picking it up. Hanover's going to cross it in. Oh, he's looking for 21 Hooker. And there's a shot that's going to sail over the net. Jay Noyola sends it over the net. Nice effort there by Hooker to chip pass into the box there for it was Joritsma, excuse me, who sent that shot high and over the net. .35 seconds left to go here in the first half. And that ball is sent into the stands. A lucky souvenir for a fan.
That ball rolls out of bounds. And that is going to do it here for the first half of play at Docking Stadium. And after 45 minutes of action, it's Calvin College Knights 1 and the Adrian College Bulldogs 0. Adrian's got to be pleased with this first half, only being down 1-0. They conceded a number of grade A scoring chances to the Knights. Lino Terramina with a number of big saves. And some nice defensive plays from some Bulldog defenders has kept this game at 1 goal difference. So the Bulldogs have got to be happy about that. But they've got to make some changes offensively to try to generate some more scoring chances.
Yeah, I think overall, like I've said before, they just need to control the ball when they have it, because that's where they're losing most of it. Most of the time, Calvin's getting the loose passes, or when they just play with it in the air. Calvin's the one that controls it after, so I'm sure their coach is going to be talking to him a little bit in the locker room.
So it was Taylor Pruis who opened with the first and only goal of the match here at the 8-minute mark. Taylor Pruis' 5th goal of the season gave Calvin a 1-0 lead. And that's where we stand after 45 minutes. The Bulldogs really with only 2 scoring chances in that first half, both generated by Nick Minshall. His cross was sent across the box. He was looking for Masters Claiborne on the far side, but it was just tipped out. Nick Groenwald, the defender, was able to just get a touch on it with his foot to misdirect the pass. And then it was Nick Minshall with a shot from a sharp angle on the same side that was nicely grabbed out of the air by goaltender Clockerty. And those are really the only 2 chances the Bulldogs had in the first half. And we're going to send it now over to Charlie Edwards and myself. I had a chance to speak with Charlie before this game started, and we'll take a look at that right now. Frank Krupa here with ACTV with the head coach of the men's soccer team, Charlie Edwards, who's in his first season here as head coach of this Bulldog squad ahead of today's game. First of all, Coach, why don't you tell me a little bit about Nick Minshall? He's a special player. Your team has scored 11 goals thus far this season. He's got 4 of them. Obviously, this one of the big center points of your offense. Tell me a little bit about him, what makes him such a special player.
Yeah, you know, Nick, he's a senior, and I think he understands what we're trying to do tactically. He's pretty special on the ball. He does a good job, and he puts himself in good spots, and we recognize it's a team effort too. You know, guys have done a good job of getting him the ball, but he does a good job of finishing.
Coach, give me an idea of a player on this team, could be a freshman or a sophomore, maybe someone who doesn't get a lot of recognition, sort of an unsung hero in your eyes so far throughout the season.
Yeah, you know, everyone, you know, on the team has been huge for us, but I would say our forward, Miles, Masters Claiborne, he's done a good job for us. He's a junior this year, and he does a good job of holding the ball up. It allows us to get out of our defensive end and create opportunities.
Now, you guys started the season with a string of non-conference plays, non-MIAA games. You play in your 4th year today. How important was it to get that first MIAA win this past week against Shrine?
Yeah, you know, it was huge for us, just from a standpoint of believing we could compete, you know, and we're looking to build on that, obviously, and it starts today.
Last question for you, Coach. I know it's a long season and maybe you don't want to think about this, but is there a realistic goal that you guys have set in your mind for a number of wins you'd like to achieve this year? What's the overall goal you'd like to accomplish with this team this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. You really can't get caught up in that. You know, it's we take it game by game. Every MIAA game is important, and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, so we just take it a game at a time and try to win and compete in every one of them.
Awesome. Head coach Charlie Edwards of the men's soccer team. Let's get back to the game. Thanks a lot for that interview. Charlie Edwards, who's in his first season head coaching the Bulldogs. After 45 minutes of play, our men's soccer team finds themselves down 1-0 to the Calvin College Knights. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. And about 10 minutes for the second half of action here at Docking Stadium. Don't go anywhere. Frank Ruby and Laura Shrub for ACTV coming right up.
Let me know. And soccer fans, welcome back to the second half of play here at Docking Stadium between our Bulldogs and the Calvin College Knights. Adrian finds themselves down 1-0 here after 45 minutes of play at Docking Stadium. Frank Krupe alongside Laura Shrub for ACTV. And we've got all kinds of live coverage of all of our sporting events. Last night was D1 hockey. Today is NCAA soccer. Next weekend's
homecoming, so it'll be the football game.
Well, the football game will actually be done by BCSN. It will not be ACTV. We're stealing their feed. But make sure you tune into that because it's going to be good. Anyways, back to the soccer game here. Our Bulldogs find themselves down 1-0 after 45 minutes of play, and it was all Calvin in the first half. They threw 15 shots on net. 4 of them were on target. And that's way too many shots to concede. If you're head coach Charlie Edwards, you gotta not be happy about that. The Bulldogs were only able to muster 1 shot at the net. It was on target. But other than that, Travis Vetker, 4 shots on goal. Taylor Pruis with 4 himself. Stephen Hawker with 5. Isaac Van Dorn and Austin Joritzman with 1 apiece for Calvin. So 15 shots thrown at net. Taormini had to be sharp. And the Bulldogs are lucky to only be down 1-0 after 45 minutes of play. Taking a look at the MIAA men's soccer standings, Calvin came into atop the MIAA leaderboard with 9 points. 3-0 in the MIAA. They're 7-2 overall. Albion and Hope with 6 points apiece, tied for second. And then it's the Bulldogs who find themselves tied for third with Kalamazoo at 4 points apiece. Alma and Olivet. Olivet. Thank you, Laura. Olivet and Alma with 3 points each, tied for fourth in the conference, and Trine sitting in the basement with 0 points. So this is a big opportunity for the Bulldogs, who are only down 1-0. If they could, ideally, you want to win every game you play, but if the Bulldogs could muster out a point, get a tie against this Calvin team, that would be huge for morale. I don't think there's many people that would argue that Calvin is probably the strongest team in the MIAA conference right now, and the Bulldogs are going to have to play them hard here if they're going to want to grab a win or muster out a tie. So we'll see what happens here. Start of the second half. Bulldogs down 1-0. Bowden with the throw-in for Calvin. Kicked aside by Masters Claiborne.
Cleared away by Adrian.
We're going to have a corner kick now for Calvin.
Nope. It's actually a throw-in for them.
Oh, it's a throw-in, and the ball is up. And the ball was loose. Taormina. Great job to grab that header out of the air.
So good opportunity early for Calvin. Taramini equal to the task. Ball is kicked out of bounds by Riley Jackson of the Bulldogs. And here comes Calvin now. Crossfield for Bowden. Ball's chipped up for Vetker. Vetker goes crossfield. But it's smashed away by the Bulldogs. Calvin picks it back up. Battling along the sidelines. And Bulldogs send it back down the field. We've got a collision down in the corner. Going to result in a Bulldog goal kick. Well, it's a beautiful day here at the Arrington Ice Arena. Excuse me. I got hockey on my mind still from last night at Docking Stadium. Sunny in the 70s. It's a great day for soccer. It'll be an even better day if the Bulldogs can find a way to tie this game up here at some point.
I think it'd be a little too hot out here for hockey.
It's never too hot enough for hockey.
You'd need ice for it, though.
Not necessarily. There's roller hockey, ball hockey, street hockey, floor hockey. No. But stop talking about that. We got a soccer game here. Forget about that. Here comes Calvin. Coming down the center is Van Dorm. Van Dorm tries luck with a shot, and it's handball, and the ball is shot up huge. Save by Taramina. Great save by Taramina. And now it's Minshaw battling. He's fouled. Free kick Bulldogs. What a save by Taramina. Are you kidding me? On Van Dorm. Nice job by the Adrian goaltender to sprint out and really challenge that shot, threw his arms up in the air and making his 6th save of the afternoon. Now the ball was almost floated right onto the feet of Minshaw, who was all alone. But it's cleared out by Calvin. One nice little chip by Mitch Stark. And now Stark is coming down the left sideline. Stark's going to send it across. And nicely cleaned up by Taramina. Here's Calvin forward Pruis. Not able to hold the ball and down by the goal line, and that'll be an Adrian goal kick. Calvin trying to generate a little give and go. Throw in. It's going to be a long throw in there for Pruis. Pruis going to cut into the center of the field. Pruis is going to try a shot. He's going to have a shot. Another big save by Taramina. Taramina has been on point this afternoon for the Bulldogs. But again, it was Pruis able to walk in untouched. Long lead pass for Minshall now. Calvin calling for a handball, and it isn't indeed awarded to them. Well, you know, Taramina, standing only 5'8", has played like he's 8'5" this afternoon. Seven saves on about 20 shot attempts for Calvin. Bulldogs still only find themselves down 1-0. Or I guess you would refer to it as 1-0?
No, 1-0.
1-0 is okay.
It works, yeah.
All right.
The defense is really getting saved by Taramina. With his saves, they're really key.
Here comes Brookhausen now. Brookhausen for Stark. And Stark's going to have that ball jabbed off of his foot by an Adrian defender. Throw in Calvin. Bowden's going to send a cross in, and it's steered aside by Tony Bendetti.
It'll be a corner for Calvin. They have to be very careful with these.
So it's Sam Hanover taking the corner for Calvin. Ball is up, a little too far ahead. The header from Calvin is sent out of bounds. Hunting down a loose ball. There's a race with Grattan, and he's able to send it to his goaltender. Now here's Kissel with it. He's going to be tackled nicely by the Calvin defender as they send it cross field for Mitch Stark. Mitch Stark with a through ball. Can he hold it in? Yes, he can, is Van Dorm. Van Dorm with a cross back up to the top of the box for Hooker. Back down low for Van Dorm, who crosses it. Van Dorm's cross trying to find Pruis on the left side, but too far out of his reach. Tell you, the sun is really coming down now.
It's got to make it hard for him to see the ball, and especially on the punts from the goalies.
Well, forget about them. What about us up here? There's no air conditioning in this booth. I didn't bring a hat. I don't have an umbrella. I don't have sunscreen. It's not a good situation for us up here.
I'd rather be up here than running around on the field, though.
I disagree with you. Here comes Calvin now, and it's number 10, Vetker. Vetker battling nicely. Big piece of footwork by him to maintain possession. Stark with it now. Mitch Stark taking it down the goal line. He's going to cross it in and sent just over the net was Stephen Hooker. High over the net was Hooker's shot attempt. But a nice chip across by Mitch
Ball's floated up by Taormina. Headed down by Calvin. But it's Adrian who comes away with it. And a long lead pass for Minshall was way too far out of his reach. Calvin goal kick. Van Dorn with a nice piece of footwork there and maintain possession of the ball. Wasterson now with it for Calvin. Through ball for Vitek. Excuse me, Vetker was a little too far ahead of him. Nice job by Minshall to steal the ball. Now here come the Bulldogs, could be away on a break. Kissel was trying to hit Minshall, and Minshall pulled up there. He's favored his left leg for a minute. He seems to be okay, though. Cross is sent in by Calvin and neatly scooped up by Taormina. Just under 32 minutes to go here in the second half. Still 1-0 Calvin.
Adrian's still playing a little defensive, even in the second half.
So here's Bowden with it now for Calvin. Playing give and go, but Bulldogs end that quickly. Bowden with a long throw-in. Defended nicely. Oh, now the ball's turned over, and it's Van Dorm. Van Dorm's going to set it in. There's a shot. And it looks like ricocheted off of one of the Adrian defenders. Huge block in front of the net. That could have found the back of the meshing.
Another corner kick. This will be a third one for Calvin. They've been unsuccessful in the first two, so.
Cross is up by everybody. Ball is loose in the box still. Battle for it. And it's cleared away quickly by Minshall. Ball is thrown up, and it's into the penalty box. Cleared away quickly again by Adrian. So half hour left to go in this game, and still the Taylor Pruis goal is holding up for Calvin. Pruis knocked in his third goal of the year. It was off of a turnover from 10 yards out. At the 8:33 mark, and that's still holding up. Here comes Pruis now, though, with it. Pruis is going to send a cross in, and all alone with it. There's going to be a shot deked around Taormina, open net, and Calvin is going to put it in. Mitch Stark was all alone. Dekes around Taormina, and Stark slides it into the empty cage. And just as I'm talking about Taylor Pruitt scoring the only goal of the game, I get interrupted by Mitch Stark, who's now stretched the lead to 2-0 for the Calvin College Knights.
Still 29 minutes left in the game, though. Adrian just has to step it up.
Step it up. Come on.
29 minutes is a long time. Anything can happen.
So for Mitch Stark, the freshman from South Lyon, Michigan, he's going to pick up his second goal of his young collegiate career to stretch this lead to 2-0 for Calvin. And the Bulldogs, who now find themselves down 2, are really going to have to switch up their strategy a little bit here maybe. And they got to start generating some more offense, maybe taking some more chances, rushing some players up into the play. Mitch Stark with it now again. Stark up to the top, back down low. Calvin sends it. Ball's crossed up high and grabbed out of the air by Termina. Ryan Kissel now. Crossfield long lead pass. Was trying to find Braden Lee. Too far ahead of him. Bulldogs turn the ball over, and Calvin trying to set it back up. Bowden with it. Nice little backheel pass from Bowden. Watterson now. Up into the 10-yard line for Stark. Stark is going to cross it in, and the ball is loose. Shot on net and just wide from Calvin. Stephen Hooker, who's had a number of great chances this afternoon, again sends his shot by the left post. And now we've got Ambrose DiGiovanni stepping back into the game. He left earlier in the first half with what looked to be a pretty painful leg injury. Number 7, Ryan Kissel, exits the game for the Bulldogs. DiGiovanni back in for him. So good to see that he's able to continue. There's another cross attempt scooped up by Termina. Bowden with it now. Chips it up for Stark. Stark tackled. That's out of bounds for a goal kick. And yet another substitution for the Bulldogs now. Grant Scoville, who started the game this afternoon, is coming back in for number 16, Marcus Phipps.
Calvin also made a substitution. Number 25, Hanover, came back onto the field. I'm not sure who he replaced, though.
So the Bulldogs make a pair of substitutions. Looking to get a change in momentum here, possibly with some fresh legs.
Nice
Now
give
here's
and
Adrian.
go.
It's Nick Minshall down the left field line. Minshall's shot is going to go high and wide. A little ambitious with that shot attempt from Minshall.
They're doing really good with the give and goes up the line there.
Bowden now with it. Up for Stark. Here comes Van Dorm. Sends it back for Stark. Stark's going to tiptoe into the box. He's going to send it up. Cleared away by Adrian defense. Scooped up by Taramina. Well, despite Taramina having conceded 2 goals here this afternoon, he's been outstanding for this Bulldogs club. Score could be much, much worse for Adrian right now, if not for him. Adrian now going to try to get something going if they got a throw in Calvin territory. Thrown in for Claiborne. Bulldogs keep it back in a long cross attempt. Nothing doing there. As Clockerty nabs that out of the air. The senior Andrew Clockerty in the Calvin net, making his first start of the season for the Bulldogs. He hasn't been too busy. Making 1 save in the first half. He hasn't really had much to deal with here in the second half. Starting goalie for Calvin is Nico Giantopoulos, who's out today with a red card. He actually tended the pipes for the Bulldogs last year before transferring to Calvin this year. Word on the street is he had a red card for throwing a punch. He's a good Canadian boy. And now we've got a good opportunity for the Bulldogs here. It's sent in and headed up. Nice opportunity. It was Riley Jackson on the set piece. Back the other way comes Calvin, though. It's Vetker. Vetker steps around his man, trying to get around 2. Off of Vetker, and it's going to be an Adrian throw. Pair of substitutions now. Bulldogs sending in Kyle Boggs for Baden Lee. Now Calvin is going to take their free quickly, and a shot from range from Sean Brokeisen, wide of the goal.
Calvin seems really comfortable with their lead right now, which they rightfully should be with 20 minutes left in the second half. They just seem to be more making more passes rather than just making sure to get it up into our zone.
Shop with it now for Calvin. Shop's going to try a long pass up for Mitch Stark. Loose ball squirts into the corner, and it's Sam Hanover. So Hanover's going to throw up a cross and off the side of the net. More substitutions coming here. For Calvin, Matt Hins and Miak Beard. Coming in for number 10, Travis Vetker. So it looks like Vetker's day could be over. And Austin Joritsma, check logs. So with Vetker coming out of the game, it looks like Calvin maybe will start to go into a shutdown mode here with about 18 minutes left to go here in the second half. We'll see if their style of play changes here. Bulldogs have a free kick from midfield. Nothing's going to come from that. But now we've got a shot attempt. Deflected. It was Grant Scoville. His shot went off a shin and grabbed by Clockerty. Bulldogs are really going to have to start pressuring now if they want to try to salvage a tie here. Masters Claiborne up for Minshall, but he's got it picked off his pocket. Garrett Shop, the midfielder. Sends it up, but it's picked up by Adrian. And now here's Minshall. Minshall battling for a loose ball. Not able to grab it. A nice move by Reed Bowden, who's coming back the other way with it. Reed Bowden up for Matt Hins. Hins is going to send a cross in. Ball is loose. Oh, and almost an own goal there. Taramini had to be sharp as he gives his defender a high five. Ball was deflected off of his chest. Taramini had to be quick on that one. It was Grant Scoville, the defender, who had the ball take a weird bounce off of him. Nice job by Taramini to cover up. Here come the Knights, though. And it's Matt Shop who's trying to pitch it around a Bulldog defense. Again, Taramini is there. Yet another substitution, it looks like, for Calvin. Checking into the game is Nolan DuBois, who sees his first action of the afternoon. Coming out is Taylor Pruis for the Knights. Pruis had the first goal, 8.5 minutes in for Calvin. His afternoon is over. Ball is thrown across, sharp angle shot. Stopped by Taramina. So two of the big boys for Calvin are out of the game.
Vetker and Pruis. Again, looks like Calvin will be trying to go into a shutdown mode here. Bulldogs sending in Aaron Reif and Ryan Kissel. In the game, out comes DiGiovanni and Miles Masters Claiborne. Crossfield pass for Van Tine. Chipped up back into the center of the field, and racing down the line for it is Matt Hins now. He's met by a Bulldog defender, and ball is kicked out for a Calvin throw-in. Van Tine with it. Van Tine's going to try a long cross, and it's headed away by the Bulldogs. And Adrian is taken down. It was number 15, Cheyenne Chushatari, had the ball tackled off of him. Now here comes Calvin. Nolan Dubuis. Dubuis stepping around a defender. Back up to the top for Garrett Shop. Shop has the ball stripped off of him. And it's Minshall with it for the Bulldogs now. He's going to put it up for Kissel. Kissel back to Minshall. Minshall for Aaron Reif. Bulldogs doing a nice job here moving the ball up the field. Sent across. Oh, and the cross by Kyle Boggs looking for Minshall. Nicely defended by Calvin. More subs now for Adrian. Baden Lee checking into the game for Kyle Boggs. Long throwing for Adrian, and no real threat there. It's scooped up by Clockerty. That's Van Tine picking up a loose ball, and he's going to lose a shoe. What'd you see there, Laura? Is you got to tie his shoe a little bit tighter? How does that happen?
Just if a cleat catches your lace at the right angle, or just, I don't know, weird things happen when you're running around it.
Do they?
Very fast.
Now we've got a set piece here for Calvin, just outside the 10-yard marker. Ball is floated in high and headed away by the Bulldogs. Ryan Kissel has the ball stripped off of him. And in comes Matt Hins with it now. Hins stepping around an Adrian defender. Hins going to send a cross in, but knifed away by the Bulldogs and sent down the field.
Adrian is doing better with their being a little more offensive. I've noticed some of the plays they've been down in Calvin's zone a little longer than they were first half. I've had a few chances too at the net, which ended unsuccessfully, but a chance is a chance.
Well, Travis Vetker coming back into the game now for Calvin, so their leading goal scorer getting sent back in. Looks like they were just getting him a little bit of rest. Obviously want him to help close down the last 10 minutes of this game. And it's Vetker now. Vetker with a nice pass up for Matt Hins. A little too far ahead of Hins, though. Taramina scoops it up. 9.5 minutes left to go. In this one, Bulldogs have been down all afternoon. 2-0 right now it is for Calvin.
The Bulldogs got a good field possession here for a throw-in. It's Aaron Reif. Sends it for Minshaw. Minshaw not able to control it. And it's going to take a unfortuitous bounce for a Calvin throw-in. Long throw-in too far ahead for Sam Hanover. Bulldogs retain possession. Long pass looking for Kissel. Was cleaned up by Calvin, and now it's sent down the field. Vetker pressuring Bulldogs D as he's been doing all afternoon. Results in a turnover. Matt Hins now with it for Calvin. Hins is going to step in to the box. Nice little pass down low. He was looking for Vetker, but Vetker was out of gas. And Connor Grattan is just going to clear it out. It's going to result in what looks to be a Calvin throw-in. Long throw-in for Calvin. Headed away by the Bulldogs, but it's sent right back. Calvin goes cross field. Trying to find Hintz for the header. Calvin picks it back up. But it's Adrian stealing possession now. It's up for Aaron Reif, who sends it up for Minshaw, but Minshaw was tackled nicely by Nick Groenwald. And Minshaw frustrated with that pass from Aaron Reif. You could hear Minshaw from up here pleading with his teammate to send the ball into his feet. Minshaw's been frustrated all day, as is much of the Bulldog offense, having not really been able to generate anything at all. But on the opposite end of the coin, Calvin has done a nice job defending as well. Can't take credit away from them. They're a good team. And now here's Reif now. Could have an opportunity. And the pass was up for Reif. He was trying to get in alone, but Groenwald, the steady junior defenseman from Oak Brook, Illinois, was there again to tackle Reif. Groenwald plays with a bit of an edge. 3 yellow cards already on the season. 3 yellow cards in 9 games.
We've got the corner on this one. We have to take advantage of this one.
And Nick Minshall's day looks to be done. Corner was sent in by Adrian, and the header was just a little bit high. I believe it was Ryan Kissel with the header. Crystal Brown, excuse me. His header was high and over the net. In the meantime, like I mentioned, Nick Minshall checks out of the game. Five minutes left to go here at Docking Stadium. Bulldogs have been down since the 8-minute mark. Taylor Pruis scored at 8:33 to be exact, an unassisted goal from the 10-yard line. And then early here in the second half, it was Mitch Stark tapping in an empty netter after he made a nice move to deke around goaltender Lino Taramina. Put Calvin up 2-0 at the 49-minute mark, and it's been 2-0 ever since.
we've got a set piece for Calvin. It's Groenwald's going to send a high kick in. The ball is up, punched away by Taormina. Dangerously jumping up for that. Good job by Taormina, though, to clear that. Here comes Calvin with it now, and we've got an opportunity. Shot is sent into the back of the net by Travis Vetker. Vetker able to slip in behind the Bulldogs D untouched. And Travis Vetker has been all over the Bulldogs offensively this afternoon, and he gets his goal. Team leading 8th of the year for Travis Vetker. Stretches the Bulldog deficit to 3, and that will probably do it here for Adrian.
3 minutes, 45 minutes remaining, and Calvin yet again bringing it back into Adrian's zone.
And Adrian's got to be careful here because it looks like Calvin's not going to take their foot off the pedal. They don't want to concede any more goals at this point. So the Bulldogs will drop to 1-2-1 in the MIAA standings. 4-4-1 overall. Calvin College is going to remain undefeated in the MIAA. They'll go to 4-0, 8-2 overall on this young season. Calvin will build upon their lead in the MIAA. They'll stretch it to 12 points. Albion and Hope are playing tonight at 7 p.m., and that'll be battle for second place overall in the MIAA, as both teams are tied with 6 points apiece. So Calvin will remain on top of the MIAA. Albion and Hope will be going at it tonight for second spot. Bulldogs will still remain with 4 points in the conference. Bulldogs will be in action next, as they'll travel to Albion October 1st at 4 p.m. And then they'll be back at home October 4th for a 12 o'clock kickoff versus Olivet. Chance here for Adrian. Ball is floated in. Was loose for a second. Taken down in the box. There was Ryan Kissel being gestured to get up by Adrian Mary of Calvin. Kissel looking to draw a foul there in the box, not getting it. Could have a transfer Adrian here now. And it's Kissel. Down low for Aaron Reif. Aaron Reif with the shot. And his shot goes right at Clockerty. .45 seconds left to go in the game here. Bulldogs can't be too pleased with the outcome this afternoon. I know Charlie Edwards, the head coach of this Adrian team, will have some choice words possibly for his team.
couldn't really get anything going offensively this afternoon. It was all Calvin from the start. Bulldogs will travel to Calvin October 21st for a 4 p.m. start. And that is going to do it for this afternoon's game. Bulldogs fall to Calvin College by a score of 3-0. The Knights get goals from Vetker, Mitch Stark, and Taylor Pruis. Bulldogs fall to 1-2-1 in the MIAA, and Calvin remains undefeated at 4-0 in the MIAA. We'd like to remind you guys to stick around because our broadcast is not over quite yet. We're going to hear from a member of this Bulldog Soccer Club in a few minutes. We'll also hear from the head coach of the women's lacrosse team. We'll speak with her in a few moments.
Adrian, today they played very defensively the whole game, and second half they came through and were playing a little more offensively, headed in the zone, a little extra time than they did first half, but still they were playing sloppy and were not careful with their passes. But Calvin's got to be comfortable with where they're at right now. They played a very good game, and the few chances that Adrian did have, they were very on top of the defensive end. Lino Taramina did a great job in net. Even though 3 goals got past him, he was very on top of the shots that were there, and he has to be happy with the game that was played. The Bulldogs their next game will be against Albion, at Albion, on October 1st. Going into this game, hopefully they'll feel a little better with a few days of practice in between. I hear there's a birthday out there today for Bulldogs, Kyle Boggs. Not sure what one it is, but sadly they couldn't bring home the win for him. Bulldogs captains can't be happy with the play today. I wonder what they're going to be saying to him. We're going to be hearing from Frank in a little bit. He's down on the field with the coach.
Frank Ruppe here with head coach Charlie Edwards. Coach, your boys had a tough time generating a lot of offense here this afternoon against Calvin. What were you trying to tell them to get maybe some more opportunities as the game was going on?
Yeah, I think you got to credit Calvin there. They're a good team, and I think it was a little bit of it was their pressure. Because of their pressure, it was difficult for us to connect passes. Obviously, we told the guys we wanted them to get bigger, create passing lanes, but again, with their pressure and their creativity, it became difficult to do that.
They are a solid squad. One bright spot for you guys this afternoon was the play of your goaltender, Lino Taramina, who came up with a number of big saves and really held you guys in this game because you guys were still in it for most of the game until the end. What can you say about your goaltender who made a number of timely saves for you guys this afternoon?
Yeah, Lino was good. He's always good. He's really taken on a great role this year in leading the team and making big plays. And he knows that he's got to play well every game, and it gives us a chance to win as long as he plays well. And he did so again today. He was fantastic.
Quickly, Coach, what are you going to tell your team after today's game, just to help them maybe put this one behind them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those things where you have to move on and look to the next one. We can't do anything to change the result, but we can certainly do things to prepare ourselves for the next game, and that's what we'll work on going forward.
Great. Thanks a lot for your time, Coach, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
And that'll do it for us here at ACTV. Thanks for tuning in for this Bulldogs men's soccer game. We'll be here next weekend for one of the games. And don't forget to watch on Friday ACTV News. Thanks again for tuning in.